What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Gridiron Blitz. Today is Saturday morning. Out here hustling, grinding for y'all. Back on the Yeti, the old school microphone. This is what I actually started my YouTube career on this microphone. So it's fitting that sometimes you just got to go back to the roots. We're still on the road, still at mom's house, but we getting you content anyway. The Detroit Lions, this will be the Detroit Lions Buffalo Bills Week 1 preseason recap. The Detroit Lions fall on the last second field goal to the Buffalo Bills. We're just going to go over some stats. This is my third year doing this, so I'm just going to go over and do it like I usually do it. This is how I started off doing. Let's just go over some stats real quick. We had Mitchell Trubisky, Jake Fromm, and Webb. We did not see Josh Allen at all for the Buffalo Bills. For the Detroit Lions, we had Jared Goff, David Blough, and Tim Boyle. Webb went 11 for 16 for 90 yards, 1 touchdown. Jake Fromm went 8 for 13, 65 yards. And Mitchell Trubisky went 1 for 2 for 10 yards. David Blough on the Detroit side, David Blough went 5 for 6 for 76 yards. He was actually sacked 2 times for a loss of 13 yards. I forgot to go do that on the Buffalo side. Jake Fromm was sacked twice for a loss of 20 yards. ESPN has switched it up on me, so this is the first time I've seen it this season. Jared Goff went 7 for 9, 56 yards, no interceptions, no touchdowns. He was sacked once for 11 yards. And Tim Boyle went 8 for 15 for 38 yards. He was sacked once, for 5 yards, a loss. So Detroit Lions got 2 sacks, and the Buffalo Bills got 4. Now, when it comes to rushing for the Buffalo Bills, you had Matt Breida, Singletary. They had 114 yards combined off 29 carries, no touchdown, with the long being 15. Rushing. Now, this guy Reynolds, what a story he is. 6 carries for 49 yards, 1 touchdown, and his long was 24. This guy met the team in the huddle. What a phenomenal story. He actually met the team. He was signed. He worked out for the team Thursday. After a couple of delays, a couple of missed flights, this guy showed up Friday to play in a preseason, to work out, got signed, and played in the preseason game, if I'm not mistaken, the very same day. So shout out to this guy. Reynolds was a dog. I liked him. I think he hopefully will make the team. You had no DeAndre Swift. I guess the biggest disappointment was Jamal Williams. He had 9 carries for 15 yards. So just early impressions. I hope we don't do Reynolds like we did Mark Thompson back in 2019. This guy was a stud, and we let him go. Matt Patricia was just an idiot. This guy was dragging people and would hurt them, injured them by dragging them. He's phenomenal. Reynolds right now is my early dark horse to make this team when the cuts happen, which will be very soon. But they liked him enough to sign him. They brought him in. He worked out, and they signed him the very same day. So now let's go to receiving. I'm not going to read all of these guys, but I'm just going to look at the standouts here. Buffalo had 20 receptions for 165 yards. Had 1 touchdown. Now, if we go to the Detroit Lions side, Tom Kennedy, 4 receptions for 46 yards with a long of 29. Tom Kennedy has been on this team forever. Practice squad. He reminds me of Zach Zenner, but in a receiving form. He just finds a way to stay on this team. I have been rooting for Tom Kennedy. If you've watched my archive of videos, I've been rooting for Tom Kennedy for the last 2 years. I do hope that he makes this team. Geronimo Allison, a surprise with 2 catches for 17 yards. Darren Fells had a catch for 9 yards. Now, if we go down to Sage Surratt, he had no catches. Jason Kabinda had a catch for 0 yards. And I'm a little nervous. I don't feel like we got that bust the top off receiver. It's going to be a little tough coming up. I would love us to get someone. We need to grab take the top off receiver, or at least a veteran to help mentor these young guys. On the defensive side of the ball, surprising standout Kevin Strong, who I am surprised that he finds a way to make this team. I don't think he's very good, but he proved me wrong today. He had 5 solo tackles, no sacks. Mike Ford did his thing. Jalen Reeves-Maven, I saw him miss a couple tackles. Now, if we go over to team stats, the Detroit Lions had 19 first downs to Buffalo 16. 6 of those were from passing and 7 were from rushing for the Detroit Lions. For Buffalo, 7 came from passing and 8 came from rushing. First down from penalties, the Detroit Lions had 6 to Buffalo's 1. Third down efficiency, Buffalo went 4 for 14 to Detroit Lions 5 for 13. Fourth down efficiency, Buffalo was 2 for 2. Detroit Lions were 50% 1 for 1. Total plays, 62 for Buffalo, 60 for the Detroit Lions. Total yards, very even. I'm liking what I'm seeing thus far when it comes to this preseason matchup. Total yards, 259 for Buffalo, 248 for the Detroit Lions. Total drives, 9 for Buffalo, 10 for Detroit. Yards per play, 4.2 for Buffalo and 4.1 for the Detroit Lions. Passing yards, I mean, this is phenomenal. Passing yards, 145 for the Buffalo Bills and 141 for the Detroit Lions. Buffalo went 20 for 31 in the air, while the Detroit Lions went 20 for 30. It's almost like somebody scripted this game. Yards per pass, 4.4 for the Buffalo Bills to 4.1 for the Detroit Lions. The teams were a little off, and surprisingly, there was not an interception thrown. It was one thrown by David Blough, but it was brought back, so it didn't count. Rushing yards, 114 for the Buffalo Bills, 407 for the Detroit Lions. Rushing attempts, this is crazy, 29 for the Buffalo Bills and 26 for the Detroit Lions. Yards per rush, 3.9 for the Bills and 4.1 for the Detroit Lions. But here is the difference in this game. In the red zone, Buffalo went 1 for 2 for 50%, and the Detroit Lions continue their red zone woes with, we have the best red zone quarterback in the NFL last year with Jared Goff, but obviously he was not in. 0 for 3 for no red zone touchdowns. Penalties, 5 for the Detroit Lions and 9 for the Buffalo Bills for 112 yards for the Detroit Lions, to the Detroit Lions 59. Time of possession was split down the middle. This is insane. 29-58 for the Bills and 30 minutes and 2 seconds for the Detroit Lions. So this is crazy, and the game ended in a 1-point difference. So some takeaways from the game. The Detroit Lions, I'm a little worried about I'm not a little worried. We've been talking about the whole offseason, the middle of the field. Jelani Tavai stinks. Our linebackers will be our Achilles heel again. I am a little afraid of the run defense as well. But outside of that, I think the highlight for me this game, we already knew how Jared Goff was going to be. I mean, he's a Super Bowl appearing quarterback. For me, it has to be the fresh, coming off the street guy, Reynolds. Reynolds is going to be something if we got to see how the other 2 games play out. I think most disappointing probably was the offensive line. But we will have a game next week. I should be able to stream that game. Should be back home in my studio and look forward to doing that. But leave it in the comments below. What did you think of this game? What did you think of Dan Campbell's first appearance as Detroit Lions head coach? I think it was phenomenal. I think that even though it was a loss, it is the preseason. I do want to say this. You have to pay attention to the preseason. The preseason games don't mean anything when it comes to wins and losses, but it does tell you a lot about your team. So pay close attention. In 2019, our defense in the preseason was horrific. It was so bad, David Blough looked like a good quarterback. We signed him. He looked like a great quarterback. We then traded for him, and we had one of the worst defenses in the league the last 2 years in a row. So pay attention to the defense. Whatever you see during the preseason will probably carry over into the regular season. Anyway, my name is Derek. This is the Gridiron Blitz. I hope you guys enjoyed the game because football is back, and I will see you in the next video.